Peacemaker ends with a huge bang and connects to the greater DCEU. Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. James Gunn successfully crafted an action-packed comedy drama series set in the DCEU with Peacemaker starring John Cena. Now, honestly, my first thought was, why Peacemaker? I felt he should have stayed dead by the hands of Bloodsport in the Suicide Squad movie. But the Peacemaker show grew on me as I continued to watch each and every episode. For most of the 8 episodes, it was filled with mostly immature potty humor and sex jokes. But underneath the exterior facade and filler is a story of a boy trying to become a better man, influenced by the wrong forces, but shaped by the ones he cares about. John Cena plays Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, set after his sudden quote-unquote death in the Suicide Squad by the hands of Bloodsport. His mission was to find and destroy the invading aliens, the Butterflies, with the help of Amanda Waller's team. A side story also involved Peacemaker's relationship with his father, and the return of the villainous racist White Dragon played by Robert Patrick. Perhaps the most rewarding part of the series is Peacemaker's self-reflection and admission of guilt. Seen through his tough exterior is a man who doesn't want to kill humans anymore, feeling utter guilt from killing Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad. Smith recalls Rick Flag's death multiple times during his emotional breakdown, including a revelation that he is responsible and guilty for the death of his very own brother. To make things more rough, Peacemaker had to kill his own father, despite wanting so hard to gain his father's approval. Smith's story, his truth, grounds the series and elevates it above the wacky, perverted, silly overtones. But the major plot of the movie were the alien butterflies, creatures that can take over human beings and turn them into vessels under their control. Led by the former Detective Song, they harvest the nectar from the mother cow, a giant worm, which oddly looks very similar to the cute giant caterpillar from Monsters vs. Aliens. This does pay off an earlier joke in an early episode about Mothra though. Color this kaiju fan happy. And despite all the references to the greater DCEU, this series really stood alone. By the end, Peacemaker cherishes peace for his team above all else by choosing to destroy the cow, all the butterflies, except Goff, and letting humanity choose its own fate. Amanda Waller makes another brief cameo that could possibly tease her as being the big villain for the next DC project. Is the Peacemaker team and the Suicide Squad going to team up to take on Amanda Waller? See you next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Peacemaker. By far the craziest surprise is the inclusion of none other than the Justice League. Well, most of them after the final battle. Okay, some of them, because the other two were just silhouettes. When Variety asked James Gunn, so what was the conversation with DC like about bringing in the Justice League on the show? Gunn says, I didn't have a conversation. I just wrote it and gave them the scripts. I don't think they really realized what they had agreed to until they saw what I had shot, which was the Justice League there. And then I think the full weight of it and, what does this mean for the DCU? And all of that became huge pieces of conversation up to the various highest levels of Warner's. And to their credit, they let me get away with it. If anything, seeing a look-alike Henry Cavill Superman is a good thing, even though it's not him. There's hope that they want Henry Cavill to be Superman just as much as Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, even if they both couldn't be on set, because their likeness means they want to use that version of the character. But throwing in the Justice League is something really cool. We got to see other directors like James Wan and Patty Jenkins handle the League members that Zack Snyder had introduced to the DCEU. James Wan's Aquaman and Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman. This time around, James Gunn gets to showcase some of the members his way. I have so many questions about the Justice League scene, starting with how hard was it to get Jason and Ezra to do it. Gunn says, it wasn't hard at all. I think I talked to Jason while we were still shooting. He had already said yes. He thought it was funny. I was a little afraid he was going to be upset. I also thought Aquaman director James Wan was going to be upset over Peacemaker saying that Aquaman F's fish all the time. I explained that Peacemaker's an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about, and Jason laughed his head off and was game from the beginning. I didn't know Ezra. Ezra came in later. I found out through some friends that Ezra likes my movies a lot, and so I asked if he would come in and do it, and he did. Aquaman and Flash pays off the fish sex joke from the first episode. And yeah, I get it. Mara is a fish. Sorry. Why weren't Batman and Cyborg in the group? You know, I don't know what I can. There are reasons for it, but I'm actually uncertain whether I can say what those reasons are. It might have to do with future stuff. Makes sense since Ben Affleck has moved on from the Batman role, and it's too early for Michael Keaton to step in since The Flash still has his Justice League suit. Ray Fisher Warner Brothers situation is ongoing for the time being as well. Now, did we need the Justice League in Peacemaker? No. But I always wanted to see the Justice League show up to other major end-of-the-world events and not take away from the main heroes of that story. So it's cool to see that here, to see that connection with the greater DCEU. James Gunn had already announced that Peacemaker will return for Season 2. I wonder how the DCEU will evolve by then. Well, what do you think about the Peacemaker show? Have you seen the final episode? What are your thoughts about the Justice League members showing up? Share your thoughts down in the comments down below.